In January 1959, a group of 10 hikers, mostly students and graduates from the Ural Polytechnic Institute, set out on an expedition into the Ural Mountains of Soviet Russia. Led by Igor Dyatlov, a seasoned 23-year-old adventurer, the team aimed to reach Otorten Mountain, a remote and challenging destination. The hikers were well prepared for the journey, carrying adequate supplies, navigation tools, and equipment for extreme cold. For them, this was a test of skill and endurance, but it was also supposed to be an adventure. Early in their trek, one of the hikers, Yuri Yudin, began to feel ill and decided to turn back. As the rest of the group continued on, Yudin would later reflect that his decision, born of sheer misfortune at the time, may have saved his life. He became the sole survivor of what would come to be known as one of the most perplexing tragedies in modern history. The remaining 9 hikers pushed forward, meticulously documenting their progress through journals and photographs. These records, later recovered, provided eerie insights into their final days. By February 1st, the group had deviated slightly from their planned route due to worsening weather conditions, including snowstorms that reduced visibility to almost zero. They set up camp on the slopes of Kholat-Syakhl, a name that translates ominously to Dead Mountain in the indigenous Mansi language. It was there that the mystery began. When the hikers failed to return on February 12th as scheduled, their families grew anxious. Search efforts began days later, involving rescue teams and eventually the Soviet military. On February 26th, rescuers discovered the hikers' campsite, and the scene was nothing short of bizarre. The tent had been sliced open from the inside as if the group had fled in panic. Their belongings, including warm clothing, boots and supplies, were left behind, seemingly abandoned in a hurry. The snow outside the tent revealed tracks made by bare feet, socks and partially clad hikers, all leading away from the camp towards the forest. These footprints, preserved in the freezing conditions, painted a haunting picture. The hikers had fled into the wilderness without proper clothing or protection against the deadly cold, where temperatures plunged to minus 30 degrees Celsius or minus 22 degrees Fahrenheit. The first 2 bodies were found near the edge of a forest, beneath a large cedar tree. Both were barefoot and dressed only in their underwear, showing signs of hypothermia. Nearby, traces of a small fire were discovered, and branches on the cedar tree were broken, suggesting that someone had climbed it, possibly to search for something or to escape from a threat. 3 more bodies were found between the forest and the campsite, as if they had been attempting to return to the tent when they succumbed to the freezing conditions. It appeared that the group had split up after fleeing the tent, with some remaining near the cedar tree, while others tried to make their way back. The remaining 4 hikers were not found until May, buried under several meters of snow in a ravine about 75 meters from the cedar tree. These bodies revealed far more disturbing details. Unlike the others, they displayed severe and unusual injuries. One had a fractured skull, while 2 others had massive chest fractures, injuries described by forensic experts as being caused by a force similar to a high-speed car crash. A female hiker, Lyudmila Dubinina, was found with her tongue, eyes and parts of her face missing. Adding to the mystery, some of the hikers' clothing contained traces of radiation. Witnesses who viewed the bodies during their funerals reported that their skin had taken on an unnatural orange hue, and some of their hair had turned grey. These inexplicable details led to countless theories over the years. Some speculated that the group had been caught in an avalanche, prompting them to flee their tent in panic. However, this theory failed to explain the severe internal injuries or the lack of external damage to the bodies. Others suggested that the hikers were victims of a secret Soviet military experiment, possibly involving weapons testing. This idea gained traction due to reports of strange lights in the sky around the time of their disappearance, as well as the radiation found on their clothing. Other theories ventured into the realm of the bizarre. Some proposed that the hikers had encountered a rare weather phenomenon such as infrasound, low-frequency sound waves capable of causing panic, disorientation, and irrational behavior. Still, others believed the group had been attacked by a yeti or some other unknown creature, citing the unusual injuries and missing body parts. Despite numerous investigations, the true cause of the Dyatlov Pass incident remains unknown. In 2019, Russian authorities reopened the case, concluding that an avalanche was the most likely explanation. However, critics of this conclusion point out the lack of evidence for an avalanche, as well as the peculiar details that remain unexplained. To this day, the Dyatlov Pass incident continues to capture the imagination of researchers, historians, and storytellers. It is a tale of courage, mystery, and tragedy set against the unforgiving backdrop of the Siberian wilderness. The hikers' final moments remain shrouded in uncertainty, a chilling reminder of the forces, both natural and unknown, that can forever alter the course of human lives.